So this is not something kind of a random thing. People have been fed with it. So somebody is taking action based on the information.
Yeah.
So what do we really understand about this great replacement? What is the fear? What are this white America afraid of?
You know what I call it, brother? I call it fear. False evidence appearing real. Fear. False evidence appearing real. You know, the thought that someone's coming in is a threat to you. You know, there's a Dr. King, no, not Dr. King, excuse me, Malcolm X once said that the white man's heaven is the black man's hell. And he also said that the black man's existence is a white supremacist hell. Now, this is the thinking of this theory, the replacement theory, that the black man's existence is a white supremacist hell. When you really take the time to think about how one would look at that and how one would think that, they are a very insecure person if they are feeling that they are being replaced. So what you need to do is start having some children.
Well,
You need to start having some children and you need to start raising them if that's what your problem is. But the reality is, this is the thinking of this replacement theory, is that politically, it's an agenda of the Democratic Party to bring in more immigrants to win more elections. And that's what the Republicans are afraid of. Again, I'm not a politician. I don't get into politics particularly, but this is what I'm understanding this to mean. Very insecure.
okay, I like that insecurity part because I think most of this problem relating to racism as it were is actually a sign of inferiority. Because if you were strong, if you were mad enough, you will face a situation. You don't go around arming yourself and then killing innocent people, no?
Right. Have
Because
some babies. Have some babies, man. If you feel like you're getting wiped out, you feel like your people getting wiped out, bro, have some babies. You know, what more can I say?
this guy that is going around now killing people, he's 18 years old and he took a gun, armed himself. Of course, I don't even want to go into this arm control, how you get arms and all that, because in the United States, there are some of these crazy laws sometimes you don't understand very well. Somebody
Right.
who is not mentally fit can get his round around gun and do
Right.
whatever he like. They will say, okay, he's not well. But if you are not well, those that are selling gun, are they not supposed to do some background check? And this is a guy who has already been taken to the police. The police had been called because he was misbehaving. They thought that was a problem. So the police have checked him, which means that if the police have checked him I think he stayed there for like 20, for a couple of hours before they left him.
20 hours.
So,
What happened was he mentioned something about a murder suicide in a paper. Okay. And the teachers notified the police. He was evaluated for a psychic evaluation 20 hours, and then he was let go. And the problem with that is that it's not it doesn't leave a record. It doesn't stay on your record. Okay. And that's according to what they call PHI information, personal health information, that they can't release that information to the police, particularly at that time, at least before this happened. Now, obviously they can, and they have access to it now because what he did. But prior to that, they couldn't have access to that information. So that's one of the problems in the system that he got around. But he's also decapitated a cat. His mother helped him bury it. I mean, he's done things. You know, he walked into the school wearing a whole, thing, like a whole gas mask thing on his face. And people were looking at him like, this guy's weird. So there was always signs there for this young man, plus the things that he was writing on social media. But he did these things in school. He said these things in school: murder, suicide, all of these type of things back when he was in high school. So he should have been on high watch then. But again, this is one of the kinks in the system between mental health and, whether this person is actually going to act out what they said they might do.
so they didn't believe that it was, it's like somebody said, I am dangerous. You don't want to take me seriously. And I'm going to prove to you that I'm dangerous. Because now nobody's going to disbelieve him.
Right.
At the time that people have said, because there is this case of him killing a cat. Okay, maybe that might be an error. The report from the school, all these things put together, is it not enough to really monitor somebody and see what? And with all this record around him, somebody still managed to sell gun to him. What does it mean, the background check now? If all those ones doesn't mean any sense, what is the meaning of background check in those cases?
And that's the problem. That record was a health record, and it doesn't show up in your background check. That's the reason why it did it, because they listed it as a mental health issue instead of, a threat, which it should have been a threat. Should have been listed as a threat. Threatened to kill himself and kill others. That should have been listed with the police as this man has threatened people before, and he should have been on watch. Unfortunately, he played it off like he didn't mean that. He shouldn't have wrote that, and they let him go.
I was reading recently that what he wrote in school that made the teacher to call the police. Then he said he didn't mean it. But after he have committed it, he said actually he meant it.
Yes.
Which means, is this smarter than the system, or somebody just didn't do his job?
It's white privilege, brother. It's white privilege. Sometimes, if you go to a psych ward, if you say something like you want to kill someone, and then you try to retract your statement, 9 times out of 10, they're still going to keep you there. But for this man, he was sent home. He was sent home. Why? I don't know. And it's on the doctors. And a lot of this stuff, people have to be accountable. The media has to be accountable. Social media has to be accountable. The people who spread these theories have to be accountable when these type of things happen as well. But you also have to deal with people's right to have freedom of speech. You have to deal with people's right to bear arms. You have to deal with PHI information, which is personal health information. There's a lot of loopholes that this guy was able to sift through to get to this point where he was able to do what he did.
And he did what he did, and he managed to walk away until they finally get him arrested. That part is also very interesting.
Yeah.
Because this is the United States, where the police will say, I'm afraid they killed somebody, and they go to investigate the person that they have killed. The person doesn't even have a weapon.
Right.
Now, the same police that have been killing people that don't have any arm, met a guy that have killed up to 10 people, we still gun on him. They managed to arrest him. What happened? Did they undergo a special training to start killing people?
He wasn't the only one who was arrested, brother. I mean, the guy who did the incident in Charleston and killed those people in the church, they took him to McDonald's before taking him to jail. Again, I'll say this again. The guy who killed all those people in Charleston, the police took this man to McDonald's after killing all those black people. They took him to McDonald's, then they took him to jail.
We're not making joke with people's lives?
No, no joke, my brother. No joke. The man who killed all of those people, I'm going to say it a third time. The man who killed all of those people in Charleston in the church, he was taken by the police to McDonald's before going to jail. And he was taken alive. By the way, he was armed with an assault rifle as well. Now, keep this in mind. Michael Brown. We know what happened with Trayvon Martin. We know what happened with George Floyd. We know what happened with Breonna Taylor. Yet, these men were black and unarmed. Some had their hands up like this. Some were sleeping in their bed. Some was just going to the store. And they're dead. They didn't make it home. But this man killed 10 people. Bodies laying out in the store. Bodies laying outside of the store. The police walk in the store around the bodies. And this man still has the rifle in his hand. And he's taken alive.
That is confusing for me. I'm not able to understand it.
This is America. And America is white privilege. Now, if these officers who engaged this man would have been black, they probably would not have lived. But because the officers who engaged him were white, they were able to, get him to talk him out of putting his weapon down. And he put the gun to his neck. And instead of taking his life, he just put his stuff on, took his armor off, and surrendered himself. Now, imagine if these were black officers, they would probably be dead.